Here's an old song that found its way with the British invasion of North America a long, long time ago. It was an English folk song that made its way across with the Pilgrim Fathers to Virginia and down into Louisiana, where it was taken and made into a black song. We heard this song by a guy called Lead Belly back in the 60s. It's a song called Gallows Pole.
Father, you bring me silver, Father, you bring me the gold. What did you bring with your father? Keep me on the gallows pole, Lord. I'm going it. Yes, I'm going it.
In 1933, the Texan musicologist John Lomax began an epic project to document traditional American music and its players. Together with his son Alan, Lomax traversed the southern states, unearthing and recording musicians, songs and artists that would have an abiding impact on the worldwide development of music. Lomax's recordings were of enormous influence on Robert Plant, and he first covered Gallows Pole, a song by the folk and blues artist Lead Belly, on Led Zeppelin III. Gallows Pole became a staple of Plant's live performances throughout his career, and he has retained a huge admiration for the singer's work and legacy. Indeed, Plant's first duet with Alison Krauss took place at a tribute concert for Lead Belly.
In 1933, there wasn't really any kind of music business per se, so pretty much anybody they found had been unrecorded, and they were after music that fascinated them. They would go to towns and ask around to find out who the local musicians were, and then they would sort of have them play a little bit and work out the songs beforehand, because they were cutting direct to disc, literally grinding in there. The needle was grinding the sound right into the disc. They would try to find people that interested them. They were A&R people in addition to being engineers and producers, all in one little package. They would go to churches, they would go to prisons, and they would go to clubs and people's houses and record wherever they could find somebody that had a song or something that interested them.
Take this hammer and carry it to the captain. Take this hammer and carry it to the captain. You tell him I'm gone. You tell him I'm gone.
They found Lead Belly in the prison in Louisiana. He was a hardened criminal. He was in prison twice, and had supposedly killed a man in a knife fight, and was a rough customer. My grandfather took him under his wing after he recorded him, and Lead Belly got out of prison, partly with the help of my grandfather, but mainly I think he'd served enough of his sentence. And my granddad started actually functioning as his manager and traveling with him and booking him on shows and collecting the money and paying Lead Belly and getting him known throughout the country through radio and television.
Louisiana State Penitentiary goes John A. Lomax, Library of Congress curator, collector of American folk songs.
Just once more, Lead Belly.
Lead Belly was an extraordinary musician. He was called the king of the 12-string guitar, and he was what is also known as a songster. He played music of all types. He could play children's lullabies, he could play hard-edged blues, he could play country songs, and he had a fantastically wide repertoire, as a lot of musicians did in that era, who were used to playing live for hours at a time.
So hang my